Hello and welcome to the second episode of ET Auto Explains, a show that elaborates and discusses the most trending or important subject from the automotive value chain. I'm Nabil A. Khan and the topic for this week is, are EVs really ready to take off in India? So what really made EV a buzzword in India? If you remember, 3 years ago, Modi-led government's one of the most powerful union ministers, Nitin Gadkari, gave a roaring call for electrification of fleets in India. And his literal words were, either you adopt to electrification or you will be bulldozed. Those were the words that really triggered the automotive industry to think about electric vehicles seriously. Since then, we have seen over 200 startups have sprung up in EV ecosystems, and a lot of investments have been made. But are they really enough to catch up the dream that the minister had laid down then? Last few months have become very important for electric vehicles in India. If you look at the electric vehicle landscape, so far it was dominated by startups, but in the last few months we have seen the Indian automotive giants who have been having strong market share in traditional or ICE engine vehicles. They have taken a strong and serious plunge in this space. Let me bring to you some of the key launches or key changes that has happened. First, you have seen Maruti Suzuki has also announced that they are going to bring electric WagonR. Mahindra, which had e-Verito already, they have expanded their product portfolio with the launch of EKUV, and look at the price segment they have launched. It is rupees 8 lakh at which you are getting an electric vehicle. Then apart from that, we have seen a number of manufacturers announcing their plan for electric vehicle, which are going to be in sub 10 lakh category, which is a huge news for Indian automobile buyers who would like to buy electric vehicles. These companies are Renault, who is going to bring an electric vehicle based on its hatchback, which is one of the largest selling product for them, Quid. And then you have another company like GWM, Great Wall Motors, another Chinese manufacturer which has come to India. They also plan to bring low-cost electric vehicle in India in next few years. If you talk about the existing market that has expanded in electric vehicle, the another SAIC-owned MG Motors India has launched ZS EV at a price segment of 21 lakh to 26 lakh, and they have got a whopping 2,800 bookings. That speaks the demand or the acceptance of electric vehicles in India. They have already delivered 150 units, while country's second largest passenger vehicle manufacturers, Hyundai, has also started selling electric SUV, which is Kona, priced about 25, and they have got a decent number. If you look at two-wheeler space, where traditionally you had Ether Energy and other startups who were struggling. If you talk, why I'm talking about struggling, that they had a plan for a long time, but we do not see the volume. Many of these startups, they have been planning to launch their product for last 2-3 years, but they were not able to launch so far. They seems to be gearing up or moving in fast pace when it comes to product launches. You look at Bajaj, they have already launched their e-Chetak. That's another big player that has debuted in electric space. Then you have TVS Motor, they launched first electric scooter. Combining all these, it really looks that the year 2020 could be an inflection point for electric vehicles in India. The investment in electric vehicle in India has surged 20 times between 2017 and 2019, but still it is only 1.6% of the global investment that was made on EVs. So that's a doubt that raises. Globally, $40 billion was invested in EV in 2019, whereas in India it was about $400 million. If you look at the electric vehicle space so far, and we have seen buses were the first mover where we had highest level of adoption, and three-wheeler was another area where electric vehicle took off. In three-wheeler, Mahindra and Mahindra, Kinetic Greens, these kind of company had a strong market share, but in bus, when it is high value vehicle, Chinese companies seems to be winning it. These Chinese manufacturers are Foton and BYD. If you look at the recently floated tenders, BYD Electra, which is a Chinese manufacturer having an Indian joint venture, got over 1,255 units of bus to be delivered. And then you have another Chinese manufacturer, which is Photon. They got an order of 720 buses, while the Indian manufacturer Tata Motors, which stood third, got an order for 520 units. So clearly it shows the current landscape of EV. So cost is a major problem in electric vehicles that is being observed by the manufacturer, and they are trying to bring down the cost by way of using multiple options of collaborations. Apart from that, with electrification, we have seen that a lot of trend of shared mobility is going to increase. That's how we see ride-hailing services, going or moving towards electric vehicle in a big way. Look at the two-wheeler ride-sharing, or you look at Olas and the Ubers of the world. They are looking strongly at electric vehicle. Ola has already got an investment of about $300 million from SoftBank for their electric mobility solutions. We have seen other investors like Shido Motor Corp and Sachin Bansal have made an investment of about $51 million in Ether Energy, another electric two-wheeler startups. Another company from Japan has invested in three-wheeler shared mobility space, that is the company called Smart E. Similar kind of investment has been being made in EV space. Bajaj has also made an investment in an electric startup called Yulu. Another important aspect of electric vehicle is that the government is trying to focus largely on local manufacturing. That's how they have increased the custom duty on completely built units, imported unit of electric vehicles to 40% from 25% earlier. If you talk about the ease that the government is providing, that we already know that in terms of electric vehicle, the GST has come down to 5%. Similarly, on charging infrastructure, it has come down to 5% from 18%. So these are some positive steps that is shaping the electric vehicle industry. If you talk about the challenges, that one of the major challenges is infrastructure. We have seen large number of startups majorly focusing on either providing ride-sharing services or manufacturing electric vehicles. That's largely dominated by import from China. So that has to change. I think a good number of people have to create an opportunity in infrastructure space. That is very important. Recycling, we have seen already two companies working in recycling space, but the biggest problem is that we do not have yet a single operational cell manufacturing. I think that is very important. The government or the industry should look forward to. However, recycling is going to create an opportunity of about $1,000 million in next 10 years. In the next 10 years, India need to produce 10 gigawatt hours of cell, and it will go up to 50 gigawatt hours by 2050. And if you talk about the recent Niti Aayog suggestions, they expect that all three-wheelers to be electrified by 2023, while majority of two-wheeler has to be electrified by 2025. Looking at these kind of projections or the estimation from the government and government entities, the pace currently at which we are moving has to be reassessed. Otherwise, we will not be able to achieve this, because look at the size of Indian two-wheeler industry, which is about 22 million units, and even 50% of this, if it has to be electrified by 2025, that means we are talking about 10-11 millions of electric two-wheelers every year. But looking at the current numbers, it looks a really uphill task. Similarly, three-wheeler, we do about 6-7 lakh units. We have to achieve complete 6-7 lakhs of electric three-wheelers. That's another task that looks very difficult, but at least in this segment, we see the progress is quite rapid. That's all for this episode of ET Auto Explains. If you have any feedback, please give us in comment box. Also, if you think any other topic to be taken up in next episode of ET Auto Explains, do put it in comment box. Please do subscribe to our ET Auto YouTube channel and also follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Thank you so much for watching.